I was overwhelmed with touch because we are so touch deprived, touch abused. And what I saw from appropriate touch at a therapeutic level was more than just stress reduction. I was so convinced that if I could get people to get 10 minutes of massage, that would decrease their stress and they would get on the L and go home to their families and feel better. And it is just incredible how we can improve at any level.
Welcome to 60 Minutes with a Woman. Today we have Nettie Novelli. It's a pleasure having you here, Nettie.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's speak about your impressive background. You've spent more than 30 years in the wellness world. You've built and sold multiple businesses. You had a wellness center in Chicago Loop, health food store, and organic cafe. You've developed nutritional supplements, created an innovative wellness product like POOPWELL, and even authored the book 90 Well, Your Path to Weight Loss and Insulin Resistance Freedom. Your own health challenges, such as dealing with asthma, food allergies, and chronic fatigue, sparked your passion for helping others. Your journey led you to discover how powerful the body can be when it's given the right tools. Your mission is simple: to help people reclaim their health, live intentionally, and thrive with abundant energy in body, mind, and spirit. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful, Nettie. Let's start to get to know you more. Tell us more about your background, where you're from, and what got you to start in the wellness world.
Originally from Chicago. I was always one of those kids who brought home, hurt animals, and I was a Special Olympics coach and started babysitting at 9, just kind of that type of person. What got me into the wellness world, I never really thought about it. Went to college and it wasn't my focus. I never considered doing anything in healthcare. But when I got out of college, I was kind of disillusioned. It just seemed kind of superficial. I had a business degree with a focus in fashion and merchandising. And it didn't connect with me. And so, I decided to go and travel a little bit and come back. And what got me into the wellness world was I was lost. And I came back after living out of the country, and I was sitting in Chicago at an ice cream store. And I was lost. I was like, what am I doing? I cannot go back to the work that I thought I was going to do and all these things. And there was a brochure for a massage school. And I was like, people go to school, to give massages? I didn't even know that it was a thing, that people went to get massages, And just a light bulb went off. And I was like something divine happened. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go to massage school. I have to go to massage school. Yes. And really that's how it started. And that kicked off a journey that it's been truly amazing, really.
I actually didn't know there were massage schools back in the days. I don't think it was a thing. So you started with massage.
I did. I went to massage school, and I think, it was really great because I came from a family of entrepreneurs. My father started his own business, and he's from
That was my next question.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you that.
And he's from Italy, and my grandpa, growing up, he had a restaurant that, we had to hang out at when we were kids and help him in the kitchen and stuff. So I guess in the background, I was just naturally into that world of businesses. And it was in massage school that I was doing community outreach. Your question, this is based on what got you into the wellness world and,
yes.
Farther on. And I was overwhelmed with what was happening in my experience with touch and doing the community outreach with the drug exposed infants and
Yes.
seniors, and then also in the school clinic, I, I was seriously overwhelmed, and I had the most amazing experiences energetically with the human body. I mean, I became an infant massage instructor and teaching people how to do that. And because we are so touch deprived and we're also touch abused. And what I saw from appropriate touch at a therapeutic level was more than just stress reduction. It was, I mean, the emotional releases, the healing that occurred just from, I mean, the laying of hands has been forever. And I mean, it took me to a whole nother place. And then there was the energetic experiences that I had with the human bodies that I worked with, that I was literally somewhat scared in the beginning. Going to school was a fluke with the brochure, but then what happened with the experience of going through that was, I mean, I could tell you stories. It was just amazing. And we're living in a world now where, I mean, touch, I mean, people are, isolated in computers, and, there's been so much abuse. And, even for women, we've been through the ringer on so many levels. So anyway, that's where it started. And I don't mean to go on and on, but I mean, this is more than, just food or more than just heal.
Yes.
We are miracles.
Yes.
And it is just incredible how we can improve at any level. So,
wow, you're very passionate. It's beautiful. It
I
was
love
really
it.
meant for you. It's you were very in tune into healing,
Yeah.
and I think you saw a path in practicing massages to start with that really helped you get closer to your vocation. I never saw massages like that before, I have to say.
I mean, they feel good. Don't get me wrong. And I worked with the structure and neuromuscular and the fascia and all kinds of different areas as far as that is concerned, in the beginning. And over 20 years, in my clinic, I had, 30 plus practitioners working with me. And it was just really amazing, the quality of practitioners, all kinds of different ways and connections. And it's really amazing.
So when you decided to open your business, it felt very natural for you to handle employees, the accounting part of the business, and everything that what a business encompasses.
No, I had no clue.
You had no clue. Okay.
No, my first business, which was the first storefront muscle therapy facility in the Chicago Loop, because back then at that time, massage really was looked at, as happy endings. I mean, seriously, I was turned down. I mean, so my first business was my class project. I was convinced that I was supposed to start a business with chair massage and lead people up to tables and everything. So this business that I had, I was turned down from 9 buildings. I sold everything I owned. I was a bartender going to massage school. I had no clue. I just knew that I had to do this. I had to make my class project real. And so I beat the pavement. I got investors to see my vision.
Wow.
I $30,000 checks here, $20,000 checks there. I had all of this money because I wanted to have multiple locations, and starting with chair massages, 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, also table massages. And I had backpacks that I sent staff out to corporate offices. I had no clue. I was homeless. I would sometimes, crash in my facility at a massage table because I started a business. And what happened was I started it and I had never cashed the checks. I was so scared of losing their money that I started it on a dime. And
wow.
it was amazing. I ended up giving all those checks back. And I created this business that was amazing. It was the first of its kind. I, employed massage therapists. I had police harassing me, thinking we were doing, special stuff in the back room. And it was the grace of God. I just kept having these serendipitous moments. I was massaging Mayor Daley, and I was helping. All these things were happening. I was on TV all the time. I was the American Massage Therapy Association media spokesperson. All these things were happening. It was so exciting, but it was very difficult because it was massage therapy. And at that time, massage therapists in Chicago had to get, mug shots. They had to get pictures taken because there was so many illicit stuff going on with massage. So it was really, and I was convinced that if somebody sat down and I was right by the Chicago Board of Trade and the, mercantile, so where all the traders were, and it was high stress.
Yes.
I was so convinced that if I could get people to get 10 minutes of massage, that would decrease their stress and it would increase, and they would get on the L and go home to their families and feel better. I mean, I was so passionate. I was out of my mind. Yes, and that snowballed. And that was so exciting. And it's true. I mean, we were thriving. We thrived. And it was so great. Helping people just with minutes of massage. It was great. And then it evolved. To a muscle therapy and wellness center and so on and so forth.
Wow. So it got bigger.
Yeah, I got bigger, and it evolved. And then I had a moment where I got sick, and that kind of led to the progression of my practice and the change of what I wanted to offer, which was more than massage, because that was just a part of it. Because we're so much more than that, That's the structural part. But do
you want to tell us more about what happened?
Well, I was first under a heavy amount of stress.
Yes.
Just from starting a business and creating this thing from scratch and all of it that it entailed. And then I was exposed to a raw sewage flood in a duplex that I lived in Chicago. And within hours of this experience, I was coughing up green globs. I mean, it was that toxic. And that led me on a 2.5-year journey of going from a 7-mile, a day runner to 3 inhalers, to, brain fog, to my hair falling out, to neurological dysfunction, and really, really
because of the exposure.
I'm sorry?
Because of the exposure to sewage?
That was what caused deep-seated infection, but it was the systematic practice of medications, trial and error, that caused me to have serious gut issues and develop into leaky gut syndrome. And that wasn't popular back then.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't easy to figure out. But it forever changed the course of my journey.
I see how.
Yeah, and after that period of time and just leading to my healing, it's been probably 32 years. I haven't even taken an aspirin. I haven't taken one medication in 32 years.
Wonderful.
Well, that's the power of the human body.
Yes, I believe in it 100%. I think we like a quick fix, and we don't work on the root cause of the problem most of the time. So I love the fact that you're the living proof of what you preach.
Yeah, and I've seen it over and over again. And that's kind of what led it to it. And so then the progression of my business started doing classes in the work, my different certifications, and getting into a variety of other modalities for healing and regeneration. And the expansion of my business, I was building out and doing new locations and things like that. And some things came into play, and it's just been a journey over 30 years. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing. Yes. And tell me, for someone as passionate as you, was it easy to inspire people to start their own healing journey, or were people resistant when it came to their health?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing because for 2.5 years during that journey, I was resistant. I was, we are conditioned that this is the path that you're
Yes.
supposed to take. We trust this conventional process, which, and I don't want to, offend anybody with my viewpoint, but in my experience, in both professional and personal, if I get hit by a truck, I want to be here. If I have to have a surgery, I want to be here. But we're not getting any better with chronic disease.
I see your point.
You're just on medications, and it's a nonstop thing, and it leads to other things, and one medication leads to another thing. And I'm not anti-medication. I'm not saying that. I've just learned and used tools that are an alternative. There are alternatives to just popping some magic pill. That it's a practice.
100%.
And so there are side effects from synthetic remedies. And so, we've been around for a long time. We've been here for 200-ish years, in the States. We've been here a long time. So there are other things other than what we've discovered in the last 200 years.
Okay, what do you mean?
I mean, by medications and our conventional medical system.
By medication?
As human beings, we've been here for thousands of years, right? We've only had medicine like this for what? How long have we had medicine like this?
It's a business.
Right, not long. And so again, I'm not discounting it. And there's great healers and, doctors and, I have doctors in my family. And I mean, I'm not discounting that. But I mean, we have to take responsibility and have an open mind. And, I have a deep faith in God and our bodies. And it's just, like you said in the beginning, it's just having the tools and our bodies can really heal when we have the right ingredients.
People don't realize that a lot of the pharmaceutical are private equity, which is 100% based on return on investment. The more they sell, the better the company is, right? So their goal, obviously, is to collaborate with doctors and sell as much as they can. Now, those pills obviously helped millions of people, but like you mentioned, when it's chronic and you pop a pill each time you have a problem, you're not solving the problem. So it's up to people to really take accountability for their own health sometimes.
Yeah, and what's the cost, to the human body in those remedies that, aren't a cure? I'll just give some little examples. Let's just talk psoriasis or eczema or, mucus production, coughing. These things are reoccurring, right? They're just reoccurring. I don't know why. I don't know why I have eczema. I don't know why I have, I was covered with psoriasis.
Yes.
I don't have it anymore. I had eczema. I was told by a doctor that I need to find a different career because my hands were covered with eczema. This was prior to getting sick. I was toxic like everybody else. I had stuff going on. I had reoccurring bronchitis. I had, all the stuff that we think is normal. Like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just sinus infection that I get every year.
Yes.
I don't get any of that anymore. And if I do, I use protocols that, that are going to use. And that's not why I'm here, because I don't do that work with people anymore. Like, focus in on, okay, let's, break down infection. Let's do these things like that. I work in a different way at this stage in my life. Mm-hmm. Back then I was a colon hydrotherapist. I was, teaching cleansing and detox classes. I was applied kinesiology. I was doing all kinds of different, and some other, yoga and, all kinds of different other stuff. Then came nutrition, then came, food as medicine training, all kinds of things that I've done. So I like to just keep it basic now, because if we don't have a solid foundation, what's the point in anything else? I mean, if the cause is diet and lifestyle for chronic disease, which it is, chronic disease, the cause is diet and lifestyle. then the cure is diet and lifestyle.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
talking, accidents or, I mean, of course, people get cancer and all kinds of things. And yes, people heal from cancer too. I mean, there's all kinds of ways, but without doing harm. You know what I mean? So that you can heal without all other side effects
Yeah.
that you have to deal with now. So, I mean, it's really amazing. It's no different than you cut yourself and you have to, you have a wound generating on a cut. It's amazing. I mean, it
Yes.
closes back up.
Yeah. We're basically living life and it's just, happening. And we don't value enough this prodigy.
Yeah. We're constantly regenerating. Are we regenerating with
Yes.
bad stuff to make bad tissues, to make bad blood, to make bad lymphatic fluids, all to ruin your metabolism? Or are we regenerating to blossom, to sprout, to heal?
That's
I mean,
right.
it's not that hard to do. It's not like I'm perfect. I mean,
You are in tune with your body. You understand that this is your vessel. You need to take care on this planet, on Earth. You need to take care of it, and it will reward you.
yeah, and it's constantly speaking to you. It's
Yes.
speaking to you with inflammation. It's speaking to you with pain. It's
Yes.
speaking with you with irritability. It's speaking to you with depression. It's speaking to you with gas. It's speaking to you with acne. All of
Mm-hmm.
those things is just a language that the body is saying, "Hey, I need some help.
Yes.
I'm under duress." We're supposed to be, just like awesome and just high energy and happy. And,
Yes.
we have the body, the mind, and the spirit. And we have, the structural stuff. We have the nutritional stuff. We have the toxicity stuff, which is
Right.
main course to all of the body systems.
On that note, one of your main pillars is gut health. Gut health is right now trending, but many people still don't really understand where the guts are, first of all, and how it influences the body. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, it's really interesting because, when I was sick, the gut, this wasn't a big thing, but, the way people look at it now is the gut, right? And they're always talking about bacteria and all these things, but I look at it like this. And yes, bacteria is key. We have to have a good, healthy balance of good bacteria, right? But it's from the lips all the way to the other end. They both look like lips.
Really?
It's one system all the way from here to here. So when we're talking about food and lifestyle, every one of these systems has to be healthy. It starts out with suckling from the baby. When they start to suck,
Yes.
the breast, now they're producing enzymes and certain things that and then you get teeth and you start chewing and the whole chewing process starts to produce enzymes and your tongue works in a certain way. And, there's certain things that are happening both structurally and chemically
Mm-hmm.
with everything. And it starts from there. And we eat fast, we don't chew, we swallow whole food. So then it has to come down into the gut and into the stomach, and there's all kinds of things there, and people are popping heartburn and tums and all this stuff. Well, we're producing hydrochloric acid. The problem is that we don't have that, so people get heartburn and GERD because of our processed foods. If you eat out of
Yes.
a box,
Yes.
bag, can, window, or restaurant, the majority of a day or a week, I mean, I'm going to say it, you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
And our bodies can't eat franken food all day. And whether it's out of a box, bag, can, window, or restaurant, their goal
Mm-hmm.
is money. It's not your health.
True.
So people are no longer eating at home. They're not eating real food. They're not sitting down and calming the body so that all of the systems can work correctly
Right.
and lovingly and gently. In America, especially in other countries, they take their time eating and they don't eat it. They're not always running and standing and eating in a car and eating running. It's like it's I mean, it's not, a mystery why we're all looking like the Pillsbury Dough people and are popping pills and are, unhinged. We're it's the
Yeah.
so we have the gut, and so every part of it is important. And then, let's get to, the intestines. We're filling it with basically poison. I'm not here to like, I'm not, yelling at people and being mad at you for doing, we all do this stuff. We're living in a world, but we have to be conscious in it because time is valuable,
Yes.
but it's not as valuable as our wellness, as our health. And it's getting worse. And, the gut and the brain is connected. And you can see how distressed people are. Emotional and mental illness is, rampant, growing,
Yes.
growing, growing, growing.
Yes.
You can't even, wait a second at a stoplight, at a stoplight without people screaming and yelling at you. And, it's crazy. And so we're doing these things to our bodies that are affecting our gut, and our brain are so connected, and our intestines are raw,
Yes.
whether it's IBS or Crohn's or, spastic colon or, leaky gut syndrome. And so because all of the nerves that affect our gut and our system, and let's not forget that connection of our intuition and your gut feeling when you're feeling something that's not right,
Yes.
those are real. That's because it's all connected through the vagus nerve and the central nervous system. And, you can have gut problems that affect your neurological system. And that happened to me. My arms didn't work. I had numbness and tingling, and that was from neurological dysfunction, from gut issues. So then we get misdiagnosed with, what's the problem here? Do you really have, is it MS? Is it this? Is it what? There's all kinds of labels and names for things.
Yes.
But I'm always going to bring this back down to a solid foundation.
Right.
We're not supposed to be feeling like we're running from a saber-toothed tiger 24/7.
Yes. Yes.
And we are, because of technology and time and pressure and, demands. Yeah. So we have that, and then we have the gut again, and then, you get into all the bacteria and stuff, and there's plenty of ways to get good bacteria, but you're never going to get a healthy home for bacteria to live in if you're jam-packed full of crap. And most people eat 3 meals a day plus snacks, plus, beverages, and they go to the bathroom once a day or every other day, or sometimes people don't go to the bathroom for a week. And we're wondering why we're crabby and bloated and, have mucus and acne and all these things, because we're clogged up.
Is that how you started your supplements?
Well, when I was sick and in my healing journey, I didn't realize that, I had a problem going to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And it turns out, my mom, in retrospect and research and going through this, I was getting suppositories when I was 3. But a lot of babies have constipation. My mm-hmm. mom, we were fed on formula.
Yes.
And, some people right off the bat have a weak digestion. Some people have a bad brain. Some people have bad joints. And we all have our weaknesses that our bodies show our weaknesses, whether it's our skin or, everybody has something different. And for me, I guess it was my gut. And so I didn't know that I was, supposed to go to the bathroom, every single day, multiple times. Mm-hmm. Who talks to you about that? Nobody. You think you're going to the bathroom, but when I got sick and I was finally realized, I was dating a guy, and he was crapping all the time. And I'm like, you have a problem. He's like, no, you cry when you go to the bathroom. You have a problem. Because it's constipation, you're not going. I'm like, well, I never thought about it. Well, anyway, when I got sick, and it kind of led to that, and I, got a fecal test. I started testing, through holistic practitioners, because the medical system, 2.5 years of medical system, wasn't doing those things. And I was able to see now what's going on inside my body. And it said a lot. And these were tests that weren't popular. This was, 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm so grateful that, just again, this was just another God thing, just set me on the right path with, the right practitioners. And then, who wakes up, and decides, my career, I want to be a colon hydrotherapist. Nobody.
It is absolutely random, but I mean, this is most definitely a practice that has been that existed, back in the ancient times. I mean, they used to rely on fecal matter to diagnose people. We stopped for some reason.
Yeah, it's well, in our hospitals, we used to have nurses before every surgery or a pregnancy, any delivery, anything at the hospitals. They had nurses, perform enemas. They even had colon hydrotherapy types
Yes.
of equipment in hospitals way back in the day.
Hmm.
But an enema is time intensive,
Yes.
so they don't do those anymore. That's not a normal practice in our hospital system. And and you can go back. I mean, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, there's a talk about water, cleansing, rectally. My grandma, the old farmers doing enemas when your baby gets a fever. I did that with my son. He got fevers,
Yes.
but
Okay.
we didn't do conventional medication. We did old school practices, little bulb syringe, certain things. But
Yes.
yeah, there's lots of practices that you can do. And yes, I mean, poop is really important. We all poop, and it's really kind of funny. So that got me into becoming a colon hydrotherapist. And
Hmm.
then, when I had an organic market and cafe, and I had 3,000 square feet of products and this type of stuff, and there was the aisle that had all the pooping stuff, and I had a colon hydrotherapy treatment room back there, and that was part of the practice because I had a wellness center also after my Chicago thing that I sold. I had this full spectrum facility.
Uh-huh.
And but everybody's different, and everybody can't afford colon hydrotherapy, and it's time intensive, and you need a
Yes.
series of treatments to do it. So I had, just like any health food store, the products, 100 cleansing products, down that aisle, and everybody's different. So what would happen is people would come in and they don't know what to do, and I'd have to start asking them, okay, so do you have diarrhea? Do you have intermittent diarrhea, constipation? How often do you go to the bathroom? What's your system here? Oh, you take that product, you take that product, you take that product. I was basically,
Giving
um,
consultations on the spot
on the
in
spot. Yeah,
between the aisles.
it was nonstop, and so yeah, and then I ended up, creating some products for some people who uh, asked me to do that, and because I was really knowledgeable on the ingredients and all this stuff. And then I had a company where I had quite a few products that I developed. The only product that I offer now is POOPWELL. And I've kind of downscaled at this age
Yes.
my practice. Yeah.
So what's the main ingredient in POOPWELL?
It's all natural. There's no fillers. The supplement industry is like the Wild West. So
Yes.
there are a lot of supplements. I mean, I wouldn't take most supplements that are out there. I'm very, very, I want to be very clear on that. There's a lot of added ingredients that don't belong in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
What's in this product is apple, okra, fig, prune, aloe. It's all just natural ingredients. And, to make peristalsis, muscle contraction, happen. It's very, what I want to see for people who are using this product that I've been selling since, I don't know, 2012, 2013. It's a great product. It's just capsules. Some people take one, some people take three. Everybody's different. But once you start going, it's not designed for you to take forever. It's designed for you to get your bowel working and get you to understand how your bowel works.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're pooping once a day and you eat more than 3 times a day, you're not pooping enough. And if you go every other day, or if you have intermittent constipation, diarrhea, you're not pooping correctly. And all of these things can change.
So what happens when we hold the fecal matter inside our body for too long?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Think about when you're a kid and you go to school. And now you're told when to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
And so now you start learning how to lock up your body.
Yeah.
And then you start growing up, and God forbid you don't want to go in a public bathroom because you don't want to stink up the bathroom. It's too embarrassing. And then you start dating somebody, and God forbid you're not going to the bathroom. There's no way. I'm going to use his bathroom. All this stuff happens, and it's dangerous. So now you're training your body, just like you can train a dog when to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You train them the time to go to the bathroom. Now, naturally, a dog wants to go like 20 minutes after they eat.
Yeah.
And they go a couple times, or 2-3 times, well, however many times they eat. Well, we're supposed to do that too. Because we have 20 plus feet of small intestines. We've got 6 plus feet of large intestine. And there's always food coming through.
Yes.
And you eat 3 plus meals a day, and you think that 24 hours, no. It's always another meal needs to come out. So you're backlogging tons of crap. Now, let's be clear that it's not just poop, okay? If you eat processed foods and dairy and you have a lot of mucus coming out of your nose and your lungs and you're coughing and you have acne and you have, pustules coming out of your face or your body.
Yes.
I promise you that you're full inside, because all of that stuff that's coming out of your nose and your mouth and your lungs and your skin should be coming out of your lower end. Shouldn't be so clogged up that now it's all coming out.
Yeah.
That's just toxicity in the body. I mean, you clog up your bowel, you clog up your body, you have poor foods inside there, your organs start to get clogged, you're sitting all the time, your lymphatic system gets stagnant. There's a whole system here that works together.
It sounds awful. It sounds like a vicious circle. There is no way out.
It's easy. The other end.
That one.
Yeah.
Go.
Start cleaning out. And then.
How?
Okay. Well, I get people to do poop. I mean, I don't have a colon hydrotherapy clinic anymore. I love that practice.
But that would be an option.
Of course, but it's one session? No. I mean, that's a whole nother topic on how many sessions in colon hydrotherapy you need to actually.
Okay. But then there is this option, and there is the option of triggering the contraction in the body so you can go and poop.
Yeah, you just, okay. First of all, I used to have my clients take my product before they got a series of colon hydrotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the cork out, get you unclogged, right? And I say breaking the dam. Just start going. I don't know how many capsules it's going to take you to break the dam. I know. I gotta laugh with it. It's funny. I mean, come on.
It is amazing. I love it.
It's just, if you can't laugh about pooping, what are you going to do? I mean,
yeah.
So anyway.
It has become taboo. I don't know why.
Oh no, people are scared. A lot of people are scared, and it's taboo. But if it's number one, for me, it's number one, because you could fill your body with healthy food, but unless you get the garbage out, you're just causing up a backlog.
Oh, it cancels each other.
Well, I mean, because there always has to be elimination.
Yes.
Just like taking out the kitchen garbage. You're not just going to keep stuffing it.
No, it's true.
And so you have a backlog up 30 plus feet of intestines.
Yeah.
And it's also mucus. It's pounds and pounds of bad bacteria. Listen, we all still are in our food supply and from our doctors and our history taking a crap ton of antibiotics, which, and the excitotoxins and neurotoxins and chemicals in our foods that disrupt the entire ecology in the gut from here to here. And I think about it. A baby starts out and maybe the mom had antibiotics or something and the baby gets thrush.
Right.
That's already a bad bacteria overload.
Yeah.
Right? And that affects from the beginning all the way down. Or any yeast infections or any type of fungal infections or all of these things. That's the inner terrain of the body. It's showing itself on the exterior.
That is impressive. The power that the gut and really what you said, removing the toxicity that we've been eating this whole time and just letting in the body, letting in the body. It's we don't realize how major it is, and how important it is.
Yeah, it's major, and it's actually very simple. Because, you're getting byproducts from poor food. Mm-hmm. You're getting byproducts from high stress.
Yes.
You're getting, because the cortisol and the adrenaline and the surge, and it's putting the body in, So all kinds of different organs and glands do all kinds of things and leave byproducts and storage and holding on. And, then we have, trauma physically and emotionally. There's all this stuff holding on. And anal retentive is a word that we use, but it's very real.
It is a very real thing, especially with children.
Especially with children. So it starts
That's the
very
first thing
young.
they do when they're upset. If they want to have some sort of control over their environment, which they don't because they're children, they will actually self-inflict anal retention, like you said.
I've worked with a lot of babies. It's really amazing what you can do with. I could make a baby poop just from a belly massage and move gas out. It's really amazing. But, I want to talk about that because you said what makes us hold on. And I want to talk about, and this relates to us as adults. When a baby is born and it's breastfed and it's eating what the mom eats, right?
Yes.
So sometimes the baby gets, colic and distress and, a gas and is really, in distress and their belly is hard and all this stuff. And then there's the babies who are formula fed, but all the babies start to eat at some point, some sooner than others. They're already a little distressed from whatever medications they've been on that affect the gut. And our gut is not healed yet. So a lot of medications that babies get right off the bat affect, that's why we have peanut allergies and all these things that are happening because they were giving these things too soon. They're not fully healed yet. Right? Just like growth plates on the bones, our guts are still healing.
Yeah.
So there's a process. And so, what happens is then they start to eat and the baby's mucus is pouring out of their faces. They get ear infections. They got eczema. They have all these things going on, but we keep giving them the food that we're giving them. It's not very common for people to completely change the diets. They try and then eventually they get tests and, they're dairy sensitive and, they're this sensitive. So they try and they do the best they can. But the baby's still under distress. And, then we give them, sugar items and processed food. And we say, it's just a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, adults are having temper tantrums all day long. And they're having gut distress. And they're popping Tums and Zantac and, we're still the same as the baby. Yeah. But for whatever reason, we think that, it's not the same. When we change the cause and we assist the cleansing, because if a baby was constipated, mom's going to, either probably give them something from the doctor or they're going to give them an enema. We help them get that out, right? And adults, for some reason, think that they're different than a baby.
Yes. Well, I think they don't think, they just go with it. They roll with it.
Well, and then it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse.
Yes.
So, it starts out with, you got the flu, you got lung infection, and then you keep taking antibiotics and, the bacteria gets stronger and it starts reoccurring. Lung infections or sinusitis or whatever, it just keeps recurring. And then it turns into, a deeper lung problem. Everything gets worse. Yeah, you might have started out at constipation, but then, this happened and now you have IBS and now you have Crohn's and now you have, it progresses. So when I go back to a solid foundation, just basic skills, starts with baby steps, and it's just what we're supposed to do as humans. Just like taking care of your car, there's basic stuff. You got to use good fuel, you got to change the oil and the filters. Out of all the years of practice and having my clinics, after COVID, like everybody else, I had some drastic changes in my life. And I didn't want to have a door that I needed people to go through for me to help them. So I decided I wanted a remote existence. And I was really averse to technology. So this is all new to me. But what I decided, what in your practice helps people the most? What gives the greatest results and what are people struggling with right now?
Yes.
And that is gut. And what people always think they want is weight loss. And just look around, everybody's, the majority of the population is overweight and they're barrel bellied. The bellies are really big. So I decided that I was going to work only with my program, which is 90 Well, which is about weight loss, but really it's about all of the things I'm talking about.
Yeah, because the results you offer are actually almost miraculous. We were talking about 20, 50 pounds. It's great knowing that it's not about weight loss. It's about reclaiming your health overall.
Right. You know, we're very superficial, right? We really take a lot of care on the outside of our bodies. And that means, you know, being overweight. You know, people want to lose 20 pounds. They want to lose 30 pounds. They want to lose 50 pounds. They want to lose more. I work with, you know, I am in my program, I have many, many, many people that lose 50 pounds in 90 days.
Wow.
So 20 to 50 pounds, I always say that because it's true. And it's because most people who are in those circumstances are having difficulty losing weight. And they've tried everything, and there's so much information out there. I mean, you know, try this, keto, the carnivore, all, you know, all these things, right? And I've been there. I tried them all. I've done them all. I've been working with people in nutritional programs, in medical offices, and all with doctor programs, and also, you know, now in my program, which I've been doing for a long time. I just combined it all together into a 90-day program. But you know, people have they're insulin resistant, and 1 in 3
and they
people
don't know about it
in America are insulin resistant right now. And that's because we're constantly eating or snacking, and we're eating processed foods and sugar. And that, you know, sets the cycle, you know, without getting too scientific, of fat storage. And it also leads to, and I'll give you some symptomology. Foggy thinking, you know, you can't lose weight, yo-yo dieting, hormone issues, all the basic stuff. And it could be anything. But again, we have to have a solid foundation. So all of those symptomologies can be spread out. But with insulin resistance, it's fat storage, and you can't lose it. And it leads to metabolic syndrome. Okay? So metabolic syndrome, you only have to have 3 out of 5 criteria and those are for waist size, waist circumference. For a woman, minimum is 35 inches, and that's pretty big. And for a man, 40 inches. Okay, that's one criteria. High cholesterol, low HDL, high blood sugar, high blood pressure. 3 out of 5 of those, okay? And you are diagnosed with metabolic syndrome. What is metabolic syndrome? Metabolic syndrome is heart disease, stroke, pre-diabetes, diabetes, polycystic ovarian syndrome, fatty liver disease. Now what's included in metabolic syndrome is type 3 diabetes, which is dementia and Alzheimer's. Now, let's get back to why is diabetes? What's the cause of diabetes? Diet and lifestyle. What's the cause of insulin resistance? Diet and lifestyle.
It's not genetic? One is the type 2.
Well, that's type 1 diabetes. That's
type 1.
That's
sorry.
not included. Yeah. This is type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, which is diet and lifestyle. So all of those things in chronic disease, which is categorized into metabolic syndrome, diet and lifestyle cause, diet and lifestyle cure, but we get on the cycle of the pill mill. Yes. So we're not changing the cause. The cause isn't just food, it's lifestyle.
Right.
If it were just food, we could keep eating. But if you're not cleansing and moving and practicing stress reduction and all the other things that keep our body, our beautiful body, this miracle working. So people, you know, we're so overwhelmed that we don't know where to start anymore.
So for somebody who feels overwhelmed and wants to start the program with you, what can they expect?
I want to be honest. I'm not much of a babysitter because I'm not going to do it for you.
Off the back.
I can't do it for you. I can.
Perfect.
You know, the same old thing. I can lead a horse to water, but you got to do it. What makes it really easy to do is the custom food guide. Takes all the guesswork out of it. And this is what happens. I'm a metabolic balance practitioner. And within this food program and that's part of this 90 Well program. So what happens is you sign up for 90 Well. I'm going to send you product and we're going to get you started to cleanse, and you're going to start doing some simple things on your own while we're waiting for the scientific, legitimate, medically created food guide. Okay. So you're going to fill out some questionnaires, some documents. I'm going to get some basic information. I'm going to send you to to get a blood draw at a lab that's closest to your address that you give me. You're going to go in, you're going to get a really large panel of a metabolic blood panel. And then we're going to have an appointment. We're going to gather some more information. I'm going to gather all of your data that is necessary, and from your forms, your gender, your measurements of your waist, upper thighs, and hips, your age, your medical history, any medications that you're on, any symptomology or health conditions that you have. I have to gather all of that information because food is medicine.
Right.
And different health conditions require different foods. If somebody's, has a thyroid issue, they should be eating beans and cabbage moderately. If somebody's on a blood thinner, they got to watch the amount of garlic they put in them. I mean, food is powerful. If they're on those medications, the reason they're supposed to watch those foods or grapefruit or certain foods is because those foods are so powerful.
Yes.
They could be doing in the right amounts what those medications are doing without the side effects.
Right.
I get great joy with healing my body with what I eat. I'm Italian. I love to eat. I love food. I'd rather eat my medicine than pop pills that are going to give me side effects that I got to take more medicine for.
100%. Yes.
So, this is the solid foundation. So what happens is I gather all that information on your blood work. I do what I got to do. I send it to my medical team in Germany. This custom food guide was developed 25 years ago, 30 years ago. And they developed the science to take your unique data, because we are all different. I have many people that come to me and say, I'm already on a healthy diet. Well, I guess it's not a healthy diet for you because it's not working. It might have been a healthy diet 10 years ago for you, or it might be a healthy diet for your neighbor, Sally. But if you're eating a healthy diet and you're not healthy, it's not a healthy diet for you.
That's right.
I mean, it's that simple. We are all different. And I'll give you an example. My mom's food guide is different than mine. We've got different guts, different life experiences. We have some crossovers, but I mean, after birth, we are separate. Yes, you said, isn't diabetes genetic? There are lots of genetic markers, but that doesn't, you know what's really hereditary? The foods you eat. If you keep eating the same foods as your parents, and your parents have heart disease and diabetes, yeah, you're going to get heart disease and diabetes.
Can I ask you just a question?
Yeah.
For you, because you're Italian,
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you, everybody is very into Mediterranean diet right now.
Great.
But would you say that pasta and bread, so carbohydrates, are still safe to eat?
Listen, we need all of the food groups.
Okay.
We need them. The issue with insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, because insulin resistance causes metabolic syndrome. So if you got chronic disease and your belly's really big and you can't lose weight, we got to get back down to the basics. So we got to lasso that insulin. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's easy to do. Our blood changes all the time. But it's the catching up of our cells and getting the body into fat burning. That's why we constantly yo-yo diet, because we try things, but there's not enough time. And then we try again. And so are carbs good? Of course. Are we supposed to eat them, as like, dessert cereals and colorful yogurts? No. So we have to have the right food choices, And so, but we already know, we know the right food choices, because you get a food guide developed on every condition that you have in your body.
So they will have a guideline when working with you.
It's not just a guideline. It's a guideline to take you from one weight. You give me your goal weight. I'm going to discuss that with you by your waist size and your blood work to see how far into insulin resistance you are, or is it just mild? There's some things that are happening here individually. Everybody's different. We're all at a different place and experience.
So is it possible to reverse the insulin resistance?
Oh yeah, you can do that easily. That's easy. It's the consistency. It's not overnight and then you're going to drop 50 pounds. In 90 days you can, because it's baby steps. There's 4 phases in the food guide. We got to first start cleansing you. We got to take out all that gunk. We can't just put in good food and clog it up again. I mean, it's counterproductive. We go through a phase where there's 2 weeks where there's no added oils. It's a full fat program. You're getting proteins, fats, carbs, phytonutrients. You're getting what's your food. It's full fat dairy. It's full fat yogurt. It's full fat cheese. We need that stuff. We're not supposed to slice and dice our food. Milk comes whole milk. Okay, so we're real smart. We're gonna take out the good stuff, and cause your body to need more. So
yeah, I know. So the skim milk thing.
It's what?
It's terrible. The skim milk thing.
Yeah.
People wanting already this 2 and 1%, and I'm always telling them, you're not lactose intolerant. This is not going to make you, shrink all of a sudden. This is healthy, good fat. We need those in butter. And obviously there was moderation. But don't take it out of your diet. That's a crime.
Yes. There's 2 weeks of no oil. We're filling our bodies with rancid oils. And we've got fatty liver disease and all kinds of issues that come from that. So there's a period where after the cleansing and during this cleansing process, then it's 16 days with 0 oil. But you have full fat and you're going through learning all the ways to cook without oil, which is not that big of a deal. And, seems scary in the beginning for people. It depends. Some people are coming off the couch. Some people are coming in as athletes. But then on the 17th day, we're adding the correct oils for you. And everybody's oils are different. Some are similar. There's 4 different oils that we're giving you during this period. And you may get some or all. It just depends on you and your unique biochemistry. And so then we're in phase 2, and we're in phase 2 from whatever weight that your portions are by grams. Everything you're eating, yes, you got to measure. And that's a good thing, because frankly, we're all eating meals that, for one person, that's made for the entire Brady Bunch. So we need to get real on our portions.
It's true.
I mean, we're out of control. So anyway, this isn't hard. It's just a daily thing. It's 3 meals a day. You're not starving yourself. Most women undereat. And there's no working out for the first 6 weeks. I want you should move. I mean, I'm requesting you to move an hour every day. Yoga, walking, swimming, Pilates, and then we're going to ramp, then you can start doing body weight exercises or whatever. If you think you're going to come off and sit on the couch and just do the program, you'll lose the weight. 80% of losing weight is 80%. I mean, is a diet. Yeah. That's why people are running on the treadmill for 20 years. They never lose a pound. There's plenty of people at the gym who never lose weight. They don't have their diet in check. And in fact, for people in insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, getting in a heavy-duty workout is often too stressful on the body. They have too much inflammation. They have too much cortisol. They have too much adrenaline surging through their body, which causes us to store fat. So we have to tone that down. Cleansing, it's not difficult. You're not going in and doing all kinds of crazy. You're popping a capsule, or if you don't want to do that, we can discuss other things that you can do. And there's other things we're cleansing with food and the process. It's very simple. It's not, listen, I was a raw vegan for 8 years. I know how hardcore people can be. This is not hardcore. So when I decided what I wanted to do in my practice, I wanted to do my program that anybody can do and get the greatest results without any guesswork. There's no guesswork. You know the weight you want to get to, and you know the weight you're coming from. The food guide is designed to get you there. Mm-hmm. And then we're taking baby steps on how you can move your body. And in fact, exercising too soon on the program can cause you to not lose weight. That's the awesome thing about it, is most people want to just lose weight. But it's the health, the wellness that comes along with it. It's your path to wellionaire living.
How did you come up with that name, by the way?
A very special man, a pastor who is my son's godfather, who's no longer with us. We came up with that, and it's just a very special term.
That's a good way to
So
honor him. It's it's
yeah,
uh
yeah,
it's
Tom
straight to the
Wright, beautiful
point, and I
man.
feel that it's very inspiring. When you hear that name, you know what to expect.
Yeah, it's very special. But there's nothing. It doesn't matter how many millions you have. If you're sick as a dog and you can't enjoy your money, what's the point?
It really says that your health is the wealth.
Talk to Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
You know, I'm sure he
it's
wishes he
true.
was living.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just baby steps to get you there. And is anybody perfect when they do the program? No, nobody's perfect. So you get your food guide. You know all the proteins you can eat.
Hmm.
Depending on your health conditions, it depends what you get. But you're going to get meat, you're going to get poultry, you're going to get dairy, you're going to get, breads and crackers, certain ones very specific. You're going to get fruit, you're going to get seafood, beans, nuts and seeds in certain quantities
Yes.
for you, and where you are, where you're starting. Could be 200 pounds, could be 150 pounds. I don't know. Everybody's different. And it's 90 days. And we're going through everything, the processes, and new tools and new lessons, and just and coaching, throughout the whole process. And yeah, everybody's coming in at a different thing, and that's just really awesome. It's really cool.
It sounds really cool. It sounds like they're getting a lot of support, not only for their health, but we mentioned it at the beginning, and this is coming from you, but you really aligned the mind, the body, and the spirit. And this is what makes your practice very special.
It's definitely not one thing. And I can tell you that the mind is so powerful that I've had clients in this program who I know are doing it perfect because they're keeping a food diary, which in order for us to figure out what's going wrong, you need to take a food diary.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can't be, Inspector Clouseau and when you're not getting the results that you're supposed to be getting, because I've been doing this since 2012. And the results are the results. I see a pattern. And if you're not doing it, we got to investigate what's going on. You're not in trouble. I mean, who cares if you went rogue? You can always come back. You can always come back. Even after the 90 days, you have the tools.
Yes.
So I just want to say, I have clients who are doing everything perfect, doing their, like I said, doing their journals and everything.
Yeah.
But their attitudes are off. They don't have faith in the process.
Oh, there you go.
And you can sabotage yourself. As we all know, we're masters at sabotaging ourselves. But you can literally sabotage yourself from losing weight or reducing inches. And the goal here, because remember, 1 in 3 are insulin resistant, and metabolic syndrome is a waist-sized women of 35 inches or more. So you might only have 2, but you're on your way because you're already there.
Right.
You're going to have 3 and 4 and 5. I mean, that's why people are on statins and, blood pressure meds and all the stuff. I also have many people who are off of their statins and their blood pressure meds and the thyroid medication. And, I'd love to share a couple testimonies.
Absolutely.
I have a client, 13 years old. She lost like 36 pounds in 90 days. 8th grade, peer pressure, on all the sports and theater, sleepovers, all the stuff. And she did it.
Wow.
Okay? I have a 77-year-old guy just a couple months ago, finished up that quarter of 90 well. Couldn't, on all the meds, his doctor's like, dude, you need to do something. Or you're, and he couldn't even walk to the mailbox. He's riding his bike. He lost 53 pounds, and he's riding his bike for 2.5 hours now. Because what insulin does, all of this stuff, the toxicity, increases inflammation. Inflammation is pain. Inflammation is in the brain. Foggy thinking. There's a reason why insulin resistance causes eventually dementia. So we have to cut the inflammation off at the pass. So what are some of the benefits after the program? Yeah, weight loss. That's a given. But the really great stuff is no more CPAPs. Couples can sleep together again. High libido, fertility. I'm 62. I follow the program. I got to tell you, I mean, I'm hornier than ever. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but I mean, I'm just telling you that there was a time when I was, going through infertility and, no sex drive at all. So, I mean, I'm just saying that those are real, very real benefits. Energy, stable moods, off medications, skin improvement, psoriasis, rosacea, eczema. Before I did my first time ordering a plan for myself many years ago, I was in perimenopause. And I was going into menopause. I hadn't had my period for 2 years. I did the program and I got my period after not having it for 2 years. That's what it does to your hormones. So let's talk about, and I don't want to keep going on, but about hormones. We're all busy taking, growth hormones and HRT and, all this stuff, right? We're taking all this stuff. We don't have a solid foundation.
Right.
This is all about our metabolism, and insulin is the master hormone. And if we're off, all of the other hormones are like a whirling dervish inside of your body. Yeah. So we have to have a solid foundation, and then let's see what hormones we're off on. Because if your cholesterol and your thyroid and all those other things are healing from following the program, so are your hormones. That's why we get so many pregnancies and no menopause symptoms, right? I just want to say, that I don't know why we don't do this, why from the minute we go to kindergarten and we have to get a doctor's visit, why aren't we doing a nutrition panel? If we just did a nutrition panel, we would get to see where our children are lacking the nutrients that they need. And this is what it's all about, is our carbs, our fats, and our proteins, but we're dying for micronutrients and phytochemicals. And we're missing our minerals. We're so deficient in minerals. That's why we have so much teeth decay and bone loss and all these things that are happening to us, and our brain shrinkage. We're dying for nutrients.
Listen, your program sounds exceptional. It sounds wonderful. It sounds like it can really save lives. Why live life in feeling very crappy about ourselves? Right. Why not look up a solution and work with a coach like you to find out what can be improved? I'm totally sold to the cause. I love it, really. I knew that you would be an amazing guest when we spoke the first times. You brought up very important facts that we tend to ignore. There is a lot of workout happening. There is a lot of people are yoga, like you mentioned, or they go to the therapist, and it's all very great. But like you mentioned, it really comes from food. If we don't solve the root problem, we're bound to always be in need of a miracle and somebody to rescue us. So I recommend your program 100%. You've been very also thorough in explaining us what it looks like. I think you're the first guest who does that. Who really says everything about her program, and he is fully transparent. So I'm hoping that the listeners are going to be able to connect. And I will write all your information in the description so people can reach out to you. But just for the sake of saying it here in the podcast, can you tell us about your the way of reaching out to you, your websites, and maybe Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, Nettie Novelli on Facebook and Instagram, and my website is wellionaireliving.com. You can find the links on there to book a discovery call. I mean, that's really important, just to understand where you're coming from and if it's a fit for you, if you're ready to take control of your health. This isn't, this is really just a relearning how to eat and giving your body exactly what it needs and just getting back to the foundation. And then you have the tools to go on. And it doesn't mean you can never eat the foods that you like, but you'll learn the tools on listening to your body. And how to remove toxins when they get in, and really how to be in control of your own health. And your food guide can last for years.
Yes. And you are empowered for the rest of your life because now
Absolutely.
you are tuning in with your body. Thanks to
Absolutely.
you. So that's thank you so much, Nettie, for sitting with us today and sharing once again everything you know with us. I think that it's going to be very exciting for the listeners to hear this conversation. This might trigger something in them.
Wow.
So I encourage you all once again to reach out to Nettie. And again, thank you for sitting with us today.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It was a pleasure. I really appreciate it. You guys all have a good one.